Joined out here by Hayden Gunner at Denton High School. Man, it's a big day for you. You got your decision coming right now.
After a lot of thinking, with the family talking, stressing out.
Let's see exactly where Malik Hawkins is going to be heading.
First off, I want to start by thanking God. Without him, I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be blessed with all these opportunities.
He's got 5 schools he's choosing between. We're about to find out who it's going to be. Got your teammates, coaches, family, friends surrounding you, so you couldn't have a bigger stage right here to announce it on. So without further ado, we're going to go to the man right here, Kobe Foreman. Who's it going to be?
I will be attending.
I'll be committed to the University of Oklahoma.
University of Texas A&M.
Stanford University.
The University of
7.
Oklahoma.
We are live in the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership in Lewisville, Texas for a Dave Campbell's Rising Special Edition, Commitment Edition for Gordon athlete Stryker Reed. I'm Greg Tepper, Editor-in-Chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com, alongside the recruiting guru himself, Director of Recruiting, Greg Power.
I got to get this out of the way. Let's go.
Are you fired up?
I'm fired up.
Today is a special day here in the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership because we have in our studio Stryker Reed, the star athlete from the Gordon Longhorns, who is about to commit live on our air, announce what he will be doing with his football future. We're very excited to have him here. This is our first ever 6-man football player committing live with us, and that's very special for us. It's pretty rare altogether.
For sure, and as a matter of fact, that Gordon squad is loaded with nice talent. In addition to Stryker Reed, they also have Riot Reed, Braden Walters, another couple of names out there to keep an eye on. You know what? Those guys helped them win what? How many state championships in a row?
2 in a row now.
2 in a row.
And they start the year as the number 1 team in 1A Division I to start the year in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. But what do those nerds know? So we'll find out. They still got to line it up and play. But let's talk a little bit about Stryker Reed before he pulls the trigger here and announces where he is going live on our air coming up here just momentarily. This is a guy who has made history already as the first ever 6-man player on the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Super Team, a third-team athlete. You have watched the tape. You've dug in on Stryker Reed. What pops out to you about this young man?
Well, first off, I want to talk about the ceiling, right? I see a lot of athleticism. We could be reading stats, numbers, track numbers. There's a lot of data that college coaches are going to look at and fall in love with whenever they break down Stryker Reed's upside and potential. Winning 2 state championships goes a long way in my estimation in an evaluation because he's proven it on the field. They've got state championship rings that they get to wear around Gordon right now as a result of all the talent that's on the team. And I think that he could project at multiple positions. I'll be very interested to hear where Stryker's committing and how they want to utilize them in the schemes, because I'm going to be honest, I cheated.
Yeah?
I cheated.
Okay.
You want to know why? I rated him as an athlete.
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't know. I'm just going to rate him as an athlete, and when he gets to college, we're going to be able to figure it out. But I think he could play running back. I think he could play wide receiver. I think he could play linebacker. I think he could play safety. There's multiple positions this young man could play, and it's now up to the college of his choosing to figure out where they want to develop him and put him on the field.
Well, and I want to ask you about evaluating a six-man talent. You know, we talked about how this is the first ever six-man player to commit live on air here at Dave Campbell's. We're very excited about that. That provides a challenge for you. He's not committing to go play six-man football in college. He's going to go commit to play 11-man football in college. From an evaluation perspective, can you talk a little bit about the challenges or the unique nature of evaluating a talent like Stryker Reed?
Well, you want to see them dominate, right? I think that's the first thing that you want to check off the list. When you pop on that tape, you want to see them absolutely go beast mode. And guess what? Both Stryker Reed and Rye Reed beast moded the whole season, and that's why they're catching so much FBS attention. And the speed is verifiable in the track. That's something that a lot of coaches, as a matter of fact, over the last few years, if you've been at the THSCA convention, you've heard staffs like Texas Tech, Joey McGuire, former Texas high school football coach, put an emphasis on how important it is to have a differentiator. And the differentiator for Stryker Reed is his ability when he steps off the gridiron. He plays other sports, and the numbers are verifiable. And I think that really has helped his recruitment in a lot of ways. And I think that's a good thing for other six-man players to look at as they go through the recruiting processes, to put themselves on the track and try to get these numbers, because I think it will help them.
Well, and to put a fine point on it, this is a young man who last year, 24 rushing touchdowns. He had 4 passing touchdowns. He also threw for 13 touchdowns. He had 3 defensive touchdowns. He was the state championship game offensive MVP. I wrote in Texas Football, in the 2025 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, available on newsstands now, that
shameless plug.
Thank you very much. But someone with the last name Reed, Rye Reed and Stryker Reed, no relation, by the way. Someone with the last name Reed was in the end zone for Gordon every 256 seconds of game time last year.
That's crazy.
That's insane. The proliferation that he's been able to put out there. But enough of us yapping. Let's go to the star of the show, Stryker Reed, who is going to commit, sitting in the commitment zone with our own Mallory Hartley. Hi, Mal.
Hey guys. Well, I'm sitting down here with the man of the hour, Stryker Reed. What was your feeling waking up this morning knowing that you're going to announce to the entire world that you're going to be where you're going to be committing to the next level?
Man, I woke up and I was feeling excited. You know, I'm glad y'all had me out here. This is really something special. You know, I'm glad I get to do this. I'm glad that someone like me coming from a small town can be invited out here to, you know, announce what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of years.
Can you believe this day has finally come? I know it's been leading up to this point for a while, but can you believe it's here?
I can't, but I'm excited and I'm glad that it has.
Well, you obviously have a couple of really good programs on your list. Walk me through what your recruitment process was like, not only just for a regular football player, but I know the process is a little bit different as a six-man player.
Yeah, and that probably made the process a little longer. I know the recruiting process is long for everybody, and every guy we talk to is like, patience is the key, just patience, patience, patience. And there might need a little bit more whenever you come from a six-man background, because one coach might see you as 6 positions, one might see you as 0 because you didn't play a single position that they have on the team. So and then they'll want to get you out to see you in person to figure out where you're going to fit at, and that seemed to be the biggest problem is, well, where can you play? I think that I can play anywhere that you want me to play, and that's what I was willing to do, and I made that known to him, and so that's just what it was. It was like, hey, I know that it might look like a different game, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do what you tell me to do, and I'm going to be good at it.
Well, I think anybody that's watching your tape can tell that you're kind of a baller. You're an athlete. You can play anywhere on the field. Well, I won't take up too much of your time, but Stryker, the floor is yours. Where are you headed?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank my family and my coaches and my teammates for allowing me to even get to this position and get this much publicity. But with that being said, I have made my decision to go play football and run track at the airport.
fan club in here, it sounds
Sure
like.
sounds like it. It does sound like it, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you just chose the Air Force Falcons to be your home for the next couple of years. Walk me through what went into that decision.
Well, it started with the coaching staff. You know, they made it known that they wanted me, and they all come from a background that probably over 90% of their coaching staff graduated from the academy. So whenever they can get you out to their campus, their beautiful campus, and you know they can walk you through the tradition that they're keeping alive because they graduated, they know what it's like to play there and stuff. So you know it's hard to pass up a tradition like that. And you know when they flew us out there, they had me in the receiver group, and I was fine with that. I was like, okay, yeah, that'd be something different. I'm not. You know, it's obviously different being an 11-man receiver. And it's a couple weeks later, the head coach called me and he's like, hey, we really want you. Let me know what we have to do to get you. I was like, well, thank you. I mean, you have a great place over there. And he's like, is it the position? Is it the position? Like, how can we get you? What position do you want to play? I was like, well, coach, I mean, I'm a running back. Put me at running back. I feel like I'd be most natural at running back. It'd translate the best. And so a couple of days later, the running back coach texted me and he's like, hey, heard you want to be a part of the Playmakers Club. Well, if you call it the Playmakers Club, that's going to be a hard one to pass up. And if you're going to find a playmaker, it's going to be at the 6-man level, no matter who you get.
That's one heck of a pitch by Coach Calhoun and his staff. Now, you're also going to be participating in track and field there. Mm-hmm. So what kind of an athlete are these two programs, as in football and track and field, getting in you?
Yeah, well, the track coach reached out first before the football coach did. So I think, you know, obviously the track times equivalent better than football stats from 6-man to 11-man. But I think they're just getting, you know, just a raw athlete. And I think that can be one of the best things to get because I'm not capped out skill-wise. I still have a lot to learn, and I'm very coachable. And I've shown that by playing 4 sports. And so I think they saw that and they believed in me and that they're good enough coaches and they trust their ability to make me into something that they see in me.
Now, you and your teammate, Rye Reed, we have you guys both as 3 stars in our DCTX rankings. Now, this year, giving you guys stars is the first time in the history of the DCTX rankings database that we've ever given 6-man players stars. What kind of example are you guys hoping to set for all the future 6-man players that look at y'all and say, hey, if they can go out and play at the FBS level, why can't I?
Yeah, it is a great feeling. Mm-hmm. But yes, we're the first, but every step has a footprint, no matter how small. So we may be the first to have this opportunity, but there's definitely been people that have deserved it that just didn't get the opportunity. So I'm glad that it was me and Riley. You couldn't pick a better character with Riley to be a great example, to be a 3-star, and to what he's doing out there and whatever he does and whatever he touches, he's just great at. So I think that y'all couldn't have chose a better person, better player to be an example. And I see people right now that could be the next 3 stars and play at the next level at the 6-man.
Absolutely. And he's going to Army. You're going to Air Force. So that'll be kind of a fun little rivalry for you guys right there. But finally, speaking of the Gordon Longhorns, you guys are looking for that 3-peat coming up this coming season. Kind of give an inside look to all the Gordon fans that might be watching and know what they can expect from you guys this season.
They can expect to see something that I don't think's been seen before. Yes, we're playing 2 11-man games, and I'm excited for that. But I'd say just be prepared to be shocked.
I like that. That makes me a little nervous, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Well, guys, there you have it. Gordon 2026 athlete Stryker Reed commits to play for the Air Force Falcons. A man, Coach Calhoun and company. That's a big get for them. Tepin Powers, back to y'all.
Absolutely. Stryker Reed, the newest commitment to the Air Force Academy Falcons. A really, really nice win for Troy Calhoun and company, and obviously there's a certain level of young man that has to get into the Air Force Academy.
Right.
Plain and simple. They ain't letting us in, for example. But Stryker Reed, a good fit, and I'm really curious on your take on where he fits in the Air Force kind of overall scheme.
Well, first off, they get the ball to the running back a lot. So
Yes,
I was really waiting on pins and needles to kind of hear where he was committing and hear, how he fit in. Hearing him say that he's got his eyes on playing running back, and Air Force does as well, is very comforting to me, because I think that's the most natural position that he has on tape. 6 foot, 190 pounds, rushed for over 1,000 yards, has shown an aptitude to catch the ball out of the backfield as well, which could bring another dimension to that Troy Calhoun offense. So Air Force coming into Texas, getting a bona fide 3-star, a guy that has an extremely high ceiling, is setting what I think is a high bar for a standard for recruiting Texas, not only because Stryker is a great 6-man player, he's a great Texas high school football player regardless of classification. And if this opens up the doorway for light to be shined on more players that he's playing against, or more players who are playing at that level, then we'll be here to cover it.
Well, and I think that it's really interesting you mentioned that the running back spot probably gives him the most opportunity to showcase what is probably his number one skill on the football field, which is versatility.
Right.
And it's that flexibility that being at running back, you can move him all over the place. Maybe they choose to put him on the defensive side, but in my view, and I'm not a recruiting guy like you are, but in my view, this is a guy who needs to have the ball in his hands. Plain and simple.
Well, also think about this too. That running back position, H-back position in the Air Force offense, tailback, they have to be able to block. He's a high football IQ guy, son of a coach, so he's going to be able to walk in there and understand the schemes, understand how they want to move the football, and know his role and know his assignments. It's not always about just getting the rock, right? Like, you got to do other stuff. If you do that stuff right, you get more touches leads to more touchdowns, and more spotlight on Gordon, Stryker Reed, and all the other 6-man players in Texas, and that's something to be excited about.
Stryker Reed, the latest commitment to the Air Force Academy Falcons. We so appreciate the Reed family for hopping on with us and allowing us to share in their very special day. Congratulations to Stryker Reed on his commitment. Congratulations to the Air Force Falcons on the commitment that they gained today. A reminder, coming up here in about 45 minutes, wherever you're watching us, the 2A and 1A preview edition of Tep and Step. An hour and plus of us yapping, talking Class 2A and Class 1A, our big preview edition. Make sure you stay tuned for that. That's going to do it for us here at the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. For VNA Moreno, for Mallory Hartley and Greg Powers, I'm Greg Tepper. Congratulations again, Stryker Reed, the latest Air Force Academy commitment here on Texas Football.